cracking, y'all? You are now watching Boo TV. Appreciate you for stopping in. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, stay notified, and let's get into the topic for today. What's up? Came across this video randomly on the official NBA YouTube page. NB90S VOLUME 1, 1990 and 1991 full episode. So I'm guessing it's taking a look back at, I guess you can say, the early 90s, National Basketball Association. I guess what was going on, the storylines, the atmosphere. Because I've seen a couple other videos on their channel which seem to kind of be like a vault episode from a certain era or a part of a certain era in basketball. And if so, if that's what this is, which I really feel like it is going to be, I know I'm going to love this. The 90s, I wasn't around. I wasn't old enough to comprehend and watch basketball in the 80s. So everything I learned about the 80s and anything prior to that has been from watching film, you know, highlights, everything else. But the era that I actually was competent, or at least somewhat competent, in watching basketball where I grew up with was the 90s and to the 2000s and on. And those 90s and those early 2000s, probably my favorite era of basketball. And I have to admit, there's probably some bias there. That's the era I grew up with, so naturally I'll attach to that. But me trying to be unbiased, like I usually try to be, I just love everything about it. And I think I would have loved the 80s too just as much if I grew up in the 80s. And I still love the 80s, just from what I've learned and what I've seen. I would have loved it a lot. But, you know, Michael Jordan, you know, I ain't even going to get into naming all the players but one thing I love about prior eras of basketball as compared to what the NBA is today is that a lot of these teams back in the day, they had very distinct personalities, very distinct play styles, ran very specific plays, played a very specific way. And it was really cool seeing all the different kinds of matchups and how this team plays versus this team plays, and, you know, what the outcome would be. Everybody played different. You know, I miss that. Now, they rarely use playbooks anymore. They don't use whiteboards as much. It's not as much X's and O's. And it's just get to the three-point line, you know, run these screens, just find the three-point shot, whether you're open or you're not open. Get the threes up. And it's a watered-down, disgusting version of basketball. I don't care about the scoring being high. You know, I'd rather watch teams play great defense, feed the post, pass the ball around, eat up shot clock, and call it a day with a score of, you know, 99 to 94. You know what I mean? But that's just me. That's just my cup of tea. But I just have so much fond memories of the 90s and the 2000s. Freaking watching NBA Inside stuff on Saturdays, looking forward to it. It was like, oh my God, we're going to get some basketball on Saturday with Inside stuff. Get with Ahmad Rashad, get the lowdown and get, you know, some behind the scenes footage, sound bites, what these other players are doing, upcoming players, little documentaries on them, miniseries, if you will. And of course, the NBA on NBC. Who can forget that? Come on, man. Anyway, I'm going to shut up. This opening has went way too long. Let's see what this is all about.
Oh, snap! NBA TV presents NB90s. It's the NBA.
Like he bought airspace. It went with the flow of Jordan.
Back in the day.
Don't ever underestimate the heart of a champion.
In the decade when the shorts got longer, the players soared higher.
I love how they got the whole 90s vibe with the editing.
And the game went global. We've got all the players.
Your 90s colors right there.
The things he was doing, like, man, we never seen this before.
And the looks.
Detroit players.
The
That's
90s
the
were
Go-Go
bad
Power
for us, we
Rangers
know
colors.
this.
And rivalries that were off the hook.
37 points in like 15 seconds.
So chill on out. We're keeping it really real.
My general idea was to dunk on everybody.
Right here on NB90s.
That's dope.
As the 80s were coming to a close, a decade of domination by the Boston Celtics and the Showtime LA Lakers was coming to an end. But a new group of stars was ready to take their place.
The new school that came in, they still had that go-get-it mentality, like the 80s. I mean, the shorts were tighter, of course. We all know that.
Leg, thigh, a lot of knees. Then Jordan era comes in. Now we got these cool, long, baggy shorts.
Everybody was cool, and everybody wanted to go to an NBA game.
The TV coverage got better. Then the internet started taking off. All these things came together at once. The NBA just started taking off.
Here we go.
And the two hottest new destinations were Orlando and Minnesota.
When the league went to expansion, off of the championship teams, guys get dished off to the new team.
Minnesota selected Rick Mahorn of the Detroit Pistons.
Watch carefully as the Timberwolves will be howling.
The first tip in the history of Minnesota Timberwolves basketball.
It wasn't like we got new teams and it got weaker. They got new teams, they jumped right on the bus, and the bus kept rolling.
But it wasn't just a couple of new teams that were being introduced. It was a whole new style.
When the Orlando Pinstripes came out, they were nice. Those first couple years, we had the top jersey sellers.
I didn't really care for the pinstripes, but I had to get the Shaq jersey. I had to get the Penny Hardaway jersey.
When you big pinstripes, you don't look good in it. Shaq with pinstripes, Tree Rollins.
It looked good from the front, but when they turned around, it just did not work.
Pinstripes, it's good for some things, but not for Orlando Magic.
Okay, thank you for coming. And thank you for coming.
At the turn of the decade, the NBA got into imports who'd become household names. No easy feat considering the pronunciations.
We had picked a lot of guys from different countries in that span of 3 or 4 years.
Now we're used to so many, foreign guys, but at the time it was like, what's your name?
He's going to wear number 12, and that's what I'll call him on the fast break.
And how old are you? You're a rookie?
You are what you wear, right, Vlade?
He's getting rich because he don't speak English.
You had guys like Vlade Divac. Here's a guy that's 7 feet that can do things that, small forwards do.
3-on-2 break. Look at Vlade.
Like, whoa.
Sarunas, Too Strong, Barcelonas.
Yeah, he got a ham hock on that arm.
Lefty, crafty with the dribble.
Barcelona's, what a play to the hoop.
A lot of people don't remember him, but definitely do your homework.
The 90s, Manu Ginobili.
Drazen Petrovic, may he rest in peace, rest in power. Hell of a ball player.
Petro. Oh, my!
He dropped 30 on me so fast, and I'm telling you, I got a hand in his face. I'm right up on him, and he was just like a machine. You always have this little ego, like, oh, he's foreign, he can't play. This is America's game. They can't beat us. The next thing you know, he's going around you.
Petro. Nice move around Jordan. Sure was.
To have these guys come in during that time was a beautiful thing because that helped the expansion of the NBA.
NB90s Volume 1 will be right back. This is NB90s Volume 1.
This is virtually impossible now. 1/10 of a second, touch it and get it up.
Tucker launches it. It's gone! Yes, it is possible to shoot with 1/10 of a second left.
When you think about how long it takes to get a shot off, if it's a home game, it takes as much time as it does for you to get the shot off. If it's an away game, you never get the shot off. So what's the question, really?
Now the question is, can a human being physically shoot the basketball? And
You see that right there? That wouldn't be allowed in today's NBA. Since the Derek Fisher shot in the 2004 playoffs, now all you can do, if there's at least 0.3 seconds left on the clock, all you can basically do is do a lob, tip, or tap in. There's no way they're going to let you gather and shoot, or gather, turn, shoot, especially with 0.1 seconds left. Ain't no way getting away with that. So no, it's not humanly possible.
1/10 of a second.
Unless you're the Flash.
Trent Tucker's shot in the nick of time forced a rule change that required 0.3 of a second on the clock for a player to catch and release.
Trent Tucker, that game versus the Bulls, you know, he got it, he had a cup of coffee, and then shot the ball. He's the one that put the 0.2, 0.1, the points in the second.
Oh, I thought it was Derek Fisher.
Time was not on the Bulls' side in New York, and they still had not solved their puzzle with the Pistons.
You know, we were all rooting for Mike. We were wearing the sneakers. We was trying to see him come through the ranks.
Chicago couldn't get past Detroit 3 years in a row.
One of the best teams ever. That's the team that put Michael Jordan on his... Yeah, the Jordan rules. Knock him down.
Jordan clobbered, and the Pistons want to make Jordan pay.
They would knock his shoes off. And they would all surround him. What? Remember they knocked Scottie Pippen?
Oh, and Lampier taking a shot at...
They knocked him out. They made him cry.
It's kind of like growing up with a bully on the street. I think that if those guys played now, they'd foul out in a quarter.
Jordan really had to raise his game, and you see it on his face. Like, next year, I'm coming back, and it's gonna be some serious stuff going down.
Yeah, the Pistons were coming out of the East again, but out West, Portland had blazed their own trail to the finals.
Oh, Rip City. You got Joe Kersey, you got Terry Porter,
Yes!
Duckworth, and Clyde the Glide.
Drexler with the ball behind the back, dribble up and in. He scored!
Drexler in one lane, Kersey in the other lane, and then Porter coming down the middle. They could fly, they could score a lot of points.
The Trailblazers in the early 90s were just a really fun team.
If you want to know about the Portland Trailblazers, all you need to do is look at the rap song they did.
Rap City, Portland, Oregon, USA.
But do you remember that? When they had the thing?
We're the Blazers and we love to play.
Rip City,
That crowd
Rap
in
City.
Portland used to go crazy and go wild. We hate going in there.
They were one of the teams that no one wanted to play, and simply because of one guy, Buck Williams.
He was like their enforcer. There are no enforcers anymore now in the league.
Blood now coming out of Buck Williams' eye.
I was so young when I came to the NBA, and he was just like the strongest man that I had ever met. I didn't fear playing against anybody in the NBA, but when I played against Buck Williams, he made me think about playing against him.
Nobody ever could question the talent. Probably should have won a couple championships.
The Blazers had their shot, but they had their hands full with the worm, Dennis Rodman, who turned out to be the 1990 Defensive Player of the Year.
Back in the day, Dennis Rodman had short hair like mine, no tattoos, and he drove a truck.
I have no negative things to say about Dennis Rodman other than he just gets on your nerves as a player.
Rodman, who was my toughest competitor ever.
That's what Dennis does. He does it better than anybody in the league.
I knew that you could count on him playing hard. You couldn't count on him to make a free throw, couldn't count on him to comb his hair, but you knew he was going to come in and go hard for you, and that's all you want. He wanted to win, and he wore his passions on the shoulder and crying after he won Defensive Player of the Year.
I wanted this one so bad.
As a Detroit fan, you know, I loved it.
Yeah! Hard work, baby. Hard work. That's all it is. Hard work.
The future Hall of Famer would win his second straight title in Motown as the Bad Boys ripped through Portland in 5 games with Vinnie Johnson playing the hero.
The microwave, Vinnie Johnson.
Vinnie Johnson, he was, in fact, the microwave. He was so hot. He had the green light, the ultimate green light. When he came in, he was shooting. And you always thought every shot he took was going to go in. And pretty much they did.
Vinnie Microwave Johnson came in, red eyes, came in and shot that ball like it was like, who is that dude?
Vinnie puts up a 14-footer. DJ scores! The Pistons are winners and still champions of the world.
After winning the title in '89, the Pistons came right back, and so will we, right after the break. You're watching NB90S Volume 1. In 1991, the league got a new partner that had fans singing a different tune.
The theme music to the NBC was the stuff when you in the kitchen trying to get that snack and it's
When I hear that music, it's time to get ready.
Basketball's on. There's no better feeling to wake up on a Saturday or Sunday as a kid and hear that music and just know it's like, all right, we're locking in.
It just got you all fired up. And the game always delivered. I don't know what could have been better. You know, it's like, this is the best of the best. I was there.
I know that your goal is to win an NBA championship, but it had to feel nice to go through the Chicago Bulls finally. Oh, hell yeah.
You'd sit back and you'd have your hoop dreams. For me, I'd have my hoop dreams right in front of me.
NBA Stuff. Check it out this fall on NBC.
Welcome to the premiere of NBA Inside Stuff.
Oh, man, Inside Stuff with
Ahmad Rashad.
That's the one.
I remember that one.
It's like one of those shows that you wake up on Saturday morning and it's like, oh, man, I want to watch this instead of cartoons.
Saturday morning, it don't matter if you played that night, you turn that TV on to tune in and watch Inside Stuff. It was just the Bible of the NBA.
And a story that's sure to be a hot topic all season long.
From day one, we knew this was going to be a hot show.
Yeah, that was kind of when the NBA was really exploding media-wise, and they kind of turned that show into like an Entertainment Tonight style.
It was fast-paced. You got a chance to see sides of athletes that you never saw before.
There you go. See, that was easy.
Back in the day, you weren't really a star unless you were on the show.
One of those shows as a kid that you just said, I hope I get a chance to be on Inside Stuff.
When I first got featured on it, I was so happy.
Have you always been that type of player?
All the time. I think I get that from my father. My father tell me to go out there and talk to him, get him out the game.
It was cool. It was like, man, I get to see these guys off the court.
It was more than just basketball. You know, Ahmad interviewing these guys.
Boy, Ahmad used to have it going on. He used to have it really, really going on.
This is a guy that we all kind of admired from when he played football.
He was a great dresser.
He was so smooth.
He inflicted his smoothness to make a ball player feel comfortable so he can eject a knockout punch, the question to the answer we all want to know.
I don't know how he got connected in the NBA. That was the one thing that I didn't understand. It's like,
seems like he played basketball.
Well, ain't you supposed to be catching passes? Like, what's your affiliation? But he knew his stuff. Willow Bay was fine.
Willow Bay.
Hope I get a chance to talk to Willow Bay.
I don't know if you're going to
You're the man. I mean, you're like the hair god around here, right? Listen, somebody, play some defense. This is the Inside Stuff now.
I like that show. I'd VCR it.
And that's the Inside Stuff.
Yes, I did the same thing. I would record episodes of Inside Stuff on VHS. I recorded Laker games. I recorded, boy, my thing stay on recorded, man. Used to record Pokemon. I recorded everything, bro.
In Denver, the Nuggets were running at altitude with attitude under new coach Paul Westhead, and the star of the show was Michael Adams.
Adams, that gives him 50 points.
Amazing. Michael Shorty Adams, no doubt.
Little Adams, the three-point man.
Throws it away. Adams three-pointer, good.
Look at that.
If he
Leads
chopped
with one
off
hand.
his right arm, he's still going right.
Michael Adams. Barkley picks him up and drops him.
Annoying if you weren't a Nugget fan.
Just all over like a little net. You just can't get rid of the guy. And then he shot the ball with one arm.
Yeah. Steal, Adams for three.
I've never seen nothing like that.
All little men needed someone to look up to, but at eye length.
The Nuggets played at a record-setting pace, which occasionally benefited the opposition.
Here comes Skiles front court. Skiles to Little. Jump shot is up. It is good! Scott Skiles with his 30th assist for the night. And that's the new NBA record.
30 dimes. Damn.
He is not a pretty player, but he is a tough player.
Running back games as if your name was Scott Skiles.
He looked like he never took no... Yeah, I'm the white boy. I'm official. I'm up in here. Blase ski, and I got heart.
great handle. You were gonna get the ball as long as he was running the squad.
Fans at the Hive in Charlotte were buzzing during All-Star Weekend when they caught a pair of legendary performances.
Craig Hodges, it's good memories.
I'm telling you, he loves that corner right there. He's going to make 4 out of 5. Maybe 5.
You and he had something going here.
He loves
maybe
that corner.
5 for 5.
He loves
yes.
Yes, sir, Craig. Haven't missed yet.
Money ball. Money ball. Put on the show, Craig.
Fans have been waiting for this.
12 in a row.
He's not even looking at the ball to pick it up off the rack.
Sheesh.
It's hot.
Look at this. This is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Oh, first miss.
Crazy. Back in the day, I didn't know they could shoot like that.
He could shoot with his eyes closed, similar to Dale Ellis. They made All-Star Saturdays a definite must-watch.
Yo, it's time to jam.
The slam dunk contest kept the crowd pumped up.
Uh-oh, he going to his pump up. He's pumping it up.
The infamous D Brown with the pump Reeboks made it really seem like that, made him jump in the air like that.
The best product placement commercial ever seen in the slam dunk.
D Brown with the close your eyes dunk. Unbelievable creativity.
Oh, my. D. Brown.
I think he was peeking underneath it, no doubt about it. Can I see the rim? Yes, I can see the rim. Whenever I see him, he definitely lets me know that he was the slam dunk champion.
And I'm here to let you know there's more NB90s on the other side. You are watching NB90S Volume 1. Karl Malone was the mailman because he always delivered. Naming the three-headed attack in the city by the bay was almost as easy as ABC.
Was that Run CCP?
Not for Tim Hardaway. No.
First take T, then M, then take C. Put letters together and you get a word.
Run TMC.
Run TMC.
Press breaking down the bottom of the shuttle. The Richter reverse push for foul.
Perfect. They all fit so wonderfully together, and they put on a show.
Rolls it over to Richmond with the 30.
Come on, Run TFC. You already know what it is. It flow. Bat, dat, 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 dat.
Here's Hardaway now. Hardaway with a great pass.
People couldn't stop us. They didn't know what we were doing because we didn't know what we were doing. If they went to the playbook, we'd be like, what are you looking at? Because we might have a playbook, but we're not running them tonight. We're just running you.
And the Warrior fans are a happy bunch.
I want to be a part of that. Let's go. Run TMC. Let's make it happen.
Run TMC! Well, look out. Here comes the Hardaway Express.
Mr. Crossover.
Hardaway
He had the greatest crossover ever.
He would put you to sleep with his little slow dribble, then he would switch that crossover up on you.
This is what I do when I come down. Freak him like that.
There's the crossover.
Way to freak him.
You knew it was coming. It's coming.
A lot of people did it. Magic Johnson did it, but they didn't do it at that low volume. Tim crossed over really quick and actually named it.
The killer crossover. Oh, brother. Hardaway.
That guy's got skills.
My nickname is The Rock.
Mitch was like the man guy.
Yeah, they called me The Rock.
Yeah, he was rock. He was strong, and he was gonna get his points.
Mitch Richmond. Mitch was a bad boy.
Big block by Richmond.
The ability to just be physical, and it was easy for me. I love the contact.
Oh, what a move.
Mitch was dope. Mitch was dope, man. Mitch was dope. I remember watching the 98 All-Star game, and Mitch and Tim Hardaway, now on different teams, were having a shootout in that All-Star game.
When God made a basketball player, he just carved Chris Mullin out and just said, this is a player.
You know they want to get the ball to Mullin, wouldn't you? He dribbles, he stops, he shoots over Magic from 21. Oh, he hit about a 30-footer.
Chris Mullin, straight from Brooklyn, better known as Crooklyn.
Brooklyn is in the building. We here.
Chris Mullin lived basketball. Couldn't get him out of the gym.
As a working man does it just a little better. A working man works overtime.
He was always in shape. He was always in the gym, calling us, talking about, let's go work out, let's go play.
Tell Nelly, put me back in the game, man. I'm just about getting hot.
A white guy who could jump that big, but still averaging 25, and will bust your in a second. Look at Chris Mullin.
When the curtain went up for the 91 playoffs, MJ took his act to Broadway.
That was dirty. That was...
Oh, please, let's see that again. 100 times.
They should have teed up Jordan. Like, you can't make 3 guys look bad on one play.
First of all, how he crosses him and comes back, Pat Ewing, and he just slams the ball. But more importantly, it's on 34th Street, so it's like a Broadway moment.
Ewing's hand, if you look at it, comes here, right by the rim, and then Jordan's hand comes up like this. And it's like, whoa, okay, all right, there he goes.
And then he did it in the Garden, man, against the Knicks, man. That was sick.
The Pistons' reign in the East was built on a rough and tumble style of play that served them well. That is until Michael Jordan and the Bulls finally had enough of it.
It was all about getting over that Detroit hump.
They get tired of getting knocked down.
Putting the move on Duval. The Bulls on fire.
They would have to accept the beating that we was given.
3 straight years of playoff frustrations were eliminated when Chicago finally got the best of Detroit to advance to their first NBA Finals.
That's what the 90s was, getting the Bulls out of the East to see the Lakers in the West.
Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson. That series was the changing of the guard for who was the top NBA team.
Jordan with the step and the bucket. Scrolling alley-oop pass underneath the... Oh, it's good! Yes! Yes! Yes!
And you had to hand it to MJ for his first iconic Finals moment.
You know, we've seen it so many times. That makes it kind of fly is it's the palming of the ball.
One way, put it in one hand.
Then he changed his mind, put it in the other hand, and decided to just lay it up.
After soaring through the air and seemingly defying gravity.
I ain't hating, but he didn't really have to do all of that. He just did it because he's Mike.
Not many people jump high enough to have different thoughts before they hit the ground. Normally when you jump, you got one thought and then you hit the ground. But to jump and stay up there that long, he might have had 2 or 3 shots before he decided to do it the other way, because that's the way he used to hang during that time.
It seemed like he did it and he had a little bit more hang time. Like he bought airspace. It went with the flow of Jordan. I buy rent up here. This is what I do.
Michael and the Bulls had just the perfect forum to launch their dynasty.
And the Chicago Bulls have won their first ever NBA championship.
People ask me, can I fly or do I like to fly? Well, I think as a team, we've shown people that we can fly.
Before we all get choked up, let's call it a wrap-up. For NB90S Volume 1, it's your boy, Fab 5 Freddy.
Yeah, that was more or less kind of what I thought this was going to be. And boy, did I love that. That was great. That was entertaining. That didn't even feel as long as it actually was. And I am salivating for more. They do have a volume 2 following this, which they would be covering the 92 and 93 season. So I'll definitely be taking another look at that soon. But this was awesome. I love how they captured everything. I love the 90s vibe and the editing. I love the interviews from back in the day. They had interviews in there from in the 2000s era talking about the 90s. I love that it wasn't heavily Michael Jordan. You can so easily just turn things into a whole Michael Jordan thing, but it wasn't, man. They shed some spotlight on what different teams were doing, different players, different tandems. That was awesome. The NBA Inside Stuff touch was great. This is done very well. Good taste. And I think they did a good job at capturing 90s basketball in those 2 years there. So I'll definitely be following this series more. I'm sure they have an NB80s out there too. So this is gonna be fun. I'm gonna enjoy this one. All right, y'all. Let me know what you think about it. What do you think about the '90s era of basketball? What's your favorite era of basketball? Please let me know in the comment section. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, stay notified, and I'll catch you on the next one. We out, baby.